My name is Mike Hampson. Today I'm going to be talking about how I was able to move to Miami by the age of 21 without ever selling a course. And I'm going to be honest, this shit was not easy. Like, I had to sacrifice everything to get here. Time with my family, friends, girlfriend, you name it. Literally everything to get here. Most people around my age, even 19, 20, 22, 23, they got here by selling a course or either growing up wealthy or rich, and I didn't do either. I feel like I'm really like one of the only people, I'm sure there's some other people that didn't sell a course or didn't grow up wealthy that moved here around my age, but I mean, I grew up in a small town, a couple thousand people in my town. There was 40 people in my graduating class. Like, I am not supposed to be here. In my town, if you go to school in that town and you live in that town, usually you don't leave. It's a last name generation town. Everybody just kind of stays there. But I was able to make it out. And the reason for that, like why I was able to make it out of that small town and not be stuck and complacent and just be comfortable like everybody was doing and living, was because I knew I was meant for more. Like, I saw a vision in my head when I was 18, I knew I could make something of myself, make money on my own terms, be an entrepreneur, not have to be stuck working a traditional 9-to-5 for the rest of my life like everybody does. And no shot at the people that do work a 9-to-5. That's just not the life I wanted to live. I didn't want to be a slave to somebody, be in a rat race where I had to work my life away for somebody that didn't give a fuck about me. I didn't want to live that life. And really, I think that comes from like not even just growing up not wealthy. Like, kudos to my parents. They did a lot for me, and I really love them for that. They really did so much. I grew up in an apartment for 18 years of my life. Very small apartment, so I wasn't even in a house, but it just really takes so much to get here. Like, when I was 18 turning 19, I moved out of my hometown and moved to Florida, hundreds and hundreds of miles away from my family, not wondering if this shit was gonna work out. Like, I was scared to death. Like, what if it fails? What if I fail? What if I lose all my money? What if I have to move back and be surrounded by people that were just complacent? People that just wanted to hold me back and, keep me safe and comfortable. And I get it. Like, if you're around my age and you have parents saying like, oh, go to college, it's a safe route. Like, for a while I didn't understand it. I still don't at times, but they just want to keep you safe and like have you do the safest option. But being safe can also like keep you complacent from living the life that you know that you can live. And there's a reason why you have that dream and vision planted in your head, is because you know it's possible. God gave you that vision for a reason, and I fully believe that. And this year I've gotten really close to him because I've realized nothing is a coincidence. The vision that you have in your head, the things that happen to you, good or bad, the lessons that happen to you that you learn from, none of it's a coincidence. It's all supposed to happen at the right time. I just wanted to come on here and just create a video to like talk to you guys about how I felt the same way that you guys are. If you're just starting entrepreneurship, trying to find a way out, even if you're not from a small town, if you're just trying to make something for yourself because you know you can, you know it's possible, and you have to commit yourself. You're gonna have to ignore the opinions of others, even your family, your friends, because they're gonna try to tell you. Even my grandparents would like send me jobs like for being a police officer, or like to try to get me, reel me back in. I like to say, like, reel me back in on a hook. They would try to get me to like work a job in the town, and I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going after a life that you guys gave up on. And that's the reality of it. The reason why people aren't rich, and it's not all about being rich, but money you can give back to your family. You can do so much with it. You can donate to charity if you want to. You can be the one to actually save your generation and bloodline. And that's really what I'm trying to do. Like, I don't want to just grow up a normal life and be comfortable, and then 30 years from now looking back on my younger self saying, I regret it. I regret never taking the risk. I regret never actually making it happen. And that scares me to death. I think my biggest failure is wasted potential and talent, not living up to the potential that I could live up to. And if you guys know that, if you've seen glimpses of your potential, your talent, you know you can make it work with just committing yourself, learning, and taking action. You need to be acting on your potential, because you do not want to have that go to waste at all. People around you, your family, your friends, they're gonna want you to work just a normal job. Just stay in the town, stay in the city where you're at, and just live the normal life. And if that's not something you don't want, you don't have to do that. You don't have to listen to your family or friends. You need to go after the life that you envision in your head every single day. And I'm telling you, on my journey in entrepreneurship, when I first started, I started in sales, life insurance sales. But I was negative $1,000 my first 3 months. I have texts and screenshots from my mom, and I get it, I still love her, but she wanted to keep me safe. From my own mom saying, oh, maybe you should try something else, maybe you should do something different, it's not gonna work out, how are you ever gonna sustain yourself, like that's not okay what you're doing. And I said, Mom, like I see a vision in myself, I know what's possible, like I envision it every single day. I would literally give myself goosebumps. I'm telling you guys, I'm not trying to sound corny. I would give myself goosebumps by listening to music, manifestation, being in an abundance mindset, closing my eyes and picturing myself living in a place like this, living the dream life, making 20K plus a month, being that guy who's able to make money at a young age so that he can set himself up and his future family for the rest of his life. I saw myself living it before I'm actually lived it. And that's how you have to act. But going back on what my mom was saying, I just had to ignore it. I had to keep doing what I wanted to do, regardless of what other people thought of me and regardless of how I felt. I wanted to give up. There were so many times. There's even times where I still don't feel like doing stuff. You know, it gets boring. I get burnt out. And I mean, I used to get burnt out, but I really don't believe in burnout anymore. Like, because my purpose is so big now that I'm not going to get burnt out. But you just have to be willing to sacrifice everything to get what you want. You're going to have to sacrifice getting out of your comfort zone, getting uncomfortable. You're going to have to sacrifice that uncertainty if it's going to work or not. You're going to have to sacrifice time with your family, your friends. I haven't seen my family in months, only one time this year. And I definitely want to see them more, and that's the point I'm trying to get to, where I can be that guy who's able to just go see his family all the time if he wants to. But I realized I had to separate myself to grow. Because if you stay somewhere and you stay around people that aren't helping you grow and they're not growing themselves, you're most likely 99% going to stay the same way. You're going to stay stuck and you're not going to grow. The only way to grow is honestly to get out of your comfort zone and do things that your friends and family will never do. That's the only way. You have to get uncomfortable. That's the only way we grow as humans, is from a place of discomfort. But during that third month when I was negative $1,000, I was 19 years old, and I was like, you know what, this fourth month I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna prove it to my mom. I'm gonna prove it to everybody. And that fourth month I made a little over $11,000, and I knew what was possible at that point. I was wondering if I quit before that, I would have never made over $11,000. Like, that's the reality of it. If I quit, I wouldn't have even gotten that, and I wouldn't have been able to get here. And I was so close to quitting at times, and I realized if I quit, everybody was right about me. My family, my parents. I didn't want people to be right about me. I wanted to make it happen. Not just for them, like to prove it to them, but to prove it to myself that I knew the vision that I saw every single day, the dream that I envisioned in my head every morning, every night, all day long. I knew it was possible. And now I'm living that reality. And what I never understood is, like, your parents and people around you, they'll tell you to go to college, and it's like you spend 20 grand a year for 40 years to not be guaranteed a job after college. Like, I know people, I have family that paid 100 grand on a college degree, and they're not even using or working in a job for that college degree. Like, they basically wasted their money. They're doing something completely different. It never made sense to me, because it's like, you go to college to learn business, learn things from people who never actually did what you're going to learn for. Like, it's just so ironic to me. I'd rather spend money into people who I'm trying to be like and who I'm trying to learn from. But for my first year in entrepreneurship, when I was 19, after that fourth month, I kind of like settled down a little bit. I would stop working. I'd make money here and there. You know, I'd work a little bit, make 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 in a week in sales, and then I'd stop working for 2-3 weeks, go party, go blow my money on girls, on trips, and do all this stuff. And I realized it was like I was just gonna be stuck in this endless cycle of making money and then having to keep up with it when I came back after 2-3 weeks of not working. And it's like, once I realized and mastered my mind and mastered consistency, that's when I started making consistent 15, 20K months this year. Not just this year, but the end of last year going into this year. I made 100K profit in 5 months in sales. And that's not to brag or boast or anything. It's just I realized beginning of this year that I knew I could make that amount of money. And now I'm making over that per month. But at times I realized I was losing that hunger in myself. I was losing that hunger to get more and want more. And if you're in a place right now where you feel like you have nothing for you, going for you, you feel like you're stuck and you have to work from the ground up like I did, because I don't come from any rich family, if you're in a place like I was in, you have one thing that most successful people don't, and that most successful people lose, and that's hunger. And that hunger you need to carry for the rest of your life. If you really want to make it happen, you can't ever lose the hunger. Let's just say you're 19 years old right now, and 5 years from now you're 24, and you didn't lose that hunger. Imagine where you could have been. Even if you're 24 now, imagine where you could be if you didn't lose that hunger. Who knows, you could be wealthy, you could be rich, you could be living the life that you could have lived. You don't want to be 24, 25, even 30 or 40 or 50, looking down again on your younger self, regretting never utilizing your hunger and living up to your full potential. You don't want to be that person. I've met people like that, and I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've met older family members that have said, I regret never doing this, I regret never doing that. And that's what scares me to death. I don't want to be older regretting never taking action on myself and my goals. I didn't want to live that life. I'm telling you guys from the bottom of my heart, don't lose that hunger. Keep going every single day, even when you don't feel like it. You need to master your mind. You need to be bored. You need to be consistent. You need to do the things that you need to do, that you're supposed to do, regardless of how you feel. And that's what it really takes. And if you're debating which business model to get into, what to do, how do I do it, how do I start, you just need to start. Stop overthinking it. Just do. Just do it. The thinking and the learning will come with doing. For a long time, like I would always wonder, like, what do I do? How do I start? Always waiting for the perfect moment. And if you're always waiting for the perfect moment, you're never actually going to do it. The perfect moment is now. You have to take action now, or you're never going to take action at all. And that's the reality of it. And honestly, that should scare you guys. Like, you should be scared to death that if you don't make it happen, you're going to be living the life that 99% of people live, just going through life like a breeze in the wind, and going through life like a zombie. I'm sure if you go to Walmart, I know when I realize it, if I go to the store like Walmart or Target, you just see these workers just going through the daily motions just without intention. They're just like a zombie, just like numb to life, not even living life intentionally. It's just like, I didn't want to live that life. It just scares me. And it's like, you guys have to be, you need to make it work. You have to make it work, or you're gonna be living like that. You need to be scared. You need to be worried. Because when you're scared and worried, it's gonna push you even harder. And it pushed me even harder this year. End of last year, I wrote down on my notebook, on my vision board, I was gonna be able to move to a Miami penthouse before I turned 22 years old and make it happen this year. And I did. I moved by the age of 21 and I made it happen. So you need to be following through with your word as well. You need to be doing what you say you're gonna do. Because if you keep lying to yourself, your brain's gonna keep thinking that when you think of stuff and when you say stuff, you're just gonna lie and keep lying. But going back on your guys' journey in entrepreneurship and business and trying to make something of yourself and start your own thing, just do it. Just do the work. Just be consistent. Learn how to stay bored. Do the daily actions every single day. You need to follow a very regimented plan and system every single day. You can't miss a day, because if you don't miss a day, you'll never miss a lucky day. There were people less qualified that are like degenerates that are making way more money than I am right now. And that is pushing me even harder, because I realized they're just delusional about it. They just realize if they do the work, they're already acting like they already made it before they actually did it. And that's why they're just doing the work. They're not thinking, they're just doing. And that's what you have to do. And that should push you guys even more, is that people less qualified than you, people less smarter than you, are making way more money online than you. So if they can do it, why can't you? Honestly. And that's the mindset you have to have, and that's the mindset I carry every single day. They're not different than you. You can make it work. If you do what you're supposed to do every single day, again, regardless of how you feel, your life is gonna change in a year, 2 years max, and it's gonna change overnight just like that. And that's what it did for me. And because I stay regimented, I followed a system. I wrote down my goals every single day. I journaled, I manifested, I visioned my life by closing my eyes every night, every morning. I read my goals every night, every morning, and I made it happen. And that's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to sacrifice sleep. You're gonna have to sacrifice the cheap dopamine hits, like corn, fast food, all this stuff that gives you that cheap dopamine hit. You need to be locked in, like you're on a tight schedule and you're running out of time. You need to operate on that. And if you do all those things, you're gonna make it work, I promise you. I promise you that you'll make it work. Just don't give up, don't quit. You don't want your family to be right about you, that you're a quitter, you didn't make it happen. So you need to go out there and do what you're supposed to do. If I can leave you guys with one thing, it's just stay consistent, stay true to yourself. If you have a vision, if you have something you believe in, commit to it. Commit to yourself every single day. Because if you do, on the other side is great things in this life that you believed in and you saw in your head and you knew it was possible. And if you accomplish it, it's just going to keep pushing you even more, and you're going to feel that gratitude that, damn, I really made it. And that's the gratitude I feel every day. I'm not settled, I'm not comfortable. It's pushing me even more to be here, but it's also motivating to see because I feel like a little fish here. The skill I really mastered to get here was sales. Like, I've spent thousands of hours in sales, role playing with mentors, training, getting my skills up, mastering tonality, mastering questions and persuasion, identity framing, all this stuff in sales, and that's what really got me here. And it doesn't matter what sales you're in. If you master one thing, 90% of it is mindset. I'm going to be honest. You have to have the mindset that it's going to work, and you believe it's easy to make money. Because if you believe it's easy to make money, it's going to be easy. If you wake up every morning believing it's hard to make money, and then it's hard to make it work, it's hard to be an entrepreneur, it's going to be hard. And really, what we believe in, that's going to dictate our future. And that's why 99% of people believe it's hard to get rich, and that's their identity that they're living in, their own world, that they can't make money, they can't get rich because of what they believe in. One more thing is, just pick one thing and go all in on it. Don't try to keep doing all these different things. When you master one thing and you start making good money with it, then that's when you can branch off into different things, start making money in other businesses, whatever it is that you want to do. But don't keep trying to do different things for like a month or two, hoping it works out, because it's not going to work out. I hope I was able to inspire one of you guys that are seeing this video. Again, stay true to yourself, stay committed, go after your goals every single day with raw action. Stay true to yourself and just go after it. Don't give up, don't quit. Don't want people to be right about you, that you're a quitter and that you can't make it work. You don't at all. It's going to be the worst feeling looking back on your younger self, knowing that you could have made it work, but you didn't. So subscribe, give me a follow my Instagram, TikTok, and I'll see you guys on the next video.